Hi, I'm Pat Twyman, Patricia Twyman, as my mother would say. I grew up in West Virginia, and so I've come a fur piece from West Virginia to practically Hollywood here in California. I am married. I have two daughters who swore they would never be teachers, who are both educators, and one of them is a member, and I'm working on the other. I worked as a nurse in the emergency room and other areas, and when we moved to California, I decided to get into education, so I started teaching nursing. From there on, I got more and more involved with education and was invited by one of the college professors to join the organization, which was just amazing and outstanding for me. I was very honored. Well, over the years, I learned a lot. In fact, I did get my master's, but I didn't go for a doctorate because I learned so much working with Delta Kappa Gamma. I went to leadership trainings, I participated in those activities and learned so much. I did not feel it was necessary for more academia in order to fulfill my job as a principal. As a principal, I'm not a typical principal with high school kids and all that. I had essentially adults, and I had 18 different entry-level health occupation programs, which was a wonderful, wonderful job. During that time, when I was invited, we wore long dresses and all of that, and I became a member of the chapter and got involved with all the many activities that were going on. And then I was asked if I would be the chapter president. And I thought, oh, well, I'm not sure. But there was one thing, I said, two things I had to do before I'd be president. Had to be first vice president and had to go to convention, so had a better feel for what it was all about. Did that. Then a few years later, I became an area director. Again, just scared out of my wits. But it all came together because I had a wonderful group of women who nurtured me, supported me, who helped me move forward. And again, as I'm doing this, I'm enjoying my job more. It was just a beautiful situation. Well, I was on a number of committees over the years, membership and expansion. I helped get Mexico involved since I live in San Diego, and that was a great experience. I was also on nominations, convention committees, that sort of thing. Then somebody said, you're about to retire, you'll have more time. Why don't you try to lead up to president? And I thought, holy moly, no. I'll be happy just to have an office. Well, I was asked to be first vice president, which was such a great way to learn what's really going on. And then I was Chi-State president from 2005 to 2007, again with some very lovely ladies. Again, learning a lot with them, and together we think we did some wonderful things. Now, during that 2-year period, our focus was light the torch of excellence. Our biennium was all about light, and the fact that lighting your own candle doesn't diminish someone else's, and help one another and keep that. We even sang This Little Light of Mine. I made them sing it at every executive committee meeting. Sing This Little Light of Mine, I'm gonna let it shine. And during that time, we came up with 5 different components that need to be addressed during those 2 years. One of them was healthy membership, which of course we're always working on. Also, implementing the 7 purposes. Our 7 purposes are inclusive, helpful, directive. They're a wonderful guide, and so we wanted to get them more involved in the things that the chapters were doing. We wanted to empower our members to be more and more involved with legislation. And number 4, we wanted to be more visible in the community. People didn't know who we were. They thought we were a ladies' sorority, but we're far different from that, but have a lot of the good things about a sorority. And the last was fiscal responsibility. Now, regarding the membership, some of the things that we were able to accomplish that we're very proud of, we expanded the website to get more information out to our members. We decided that each state committee would have a liaison with a member of the executive committee, so that enhanced the communications. We worked on parity. We had a parity study that we shared with our members to try to bring in people that we didn't have. Of course, there weren't many nurses, and we worked on that. We also decided that we had a state program person and chair and committees working with it, but we wanted to have area program chairs who could relate that better to the chapters and get that information out. We also stressed bringing non-members to our activities so they get to know how wonderful we are and want to join us. We also went to Fresno, which was a place we hadn't had conventions and where people weren't always, they were not as accessible, and we set the groundwork for a convention in Fresno, which turned out very well. We worked with new chapter presidents both years of the biennium. We decided to do that because they're introduced, but it was nice to bring them back the second year to see how things had gone, what advice they had, how we could help in the future. Now, regarding the 7 purposes, one of the things that we focus a lot on is leadership, of course. And we added to our summer leadership always a component of leadership that we could walk away with some formal information that would help us be better leaders. And we had a great, huge job that we very much enjoyed, and that was that we assisted with the International Convention, which was held in San Diego. And I'm sure they did that just for me since I lived there. Visibility. Well, we came up with buttons, big buttons, the size of a coffee cup opening. And they were volunteer buttons, so that when members volunteered, they wore the buttons and everybody knew who they were and what they represented, helping others. We also asked the executive committee, not just the president, the executive committee members, to try to get around to chapters and areas where they lived. So it wasn't a big expense, but we wanted people to know that we were involved and listening and wanted to react to what their needs were. We did more Delta Kappa Gamma jewelry, bags, note paper, whatever we could find, and enjoyed that very much, and our members did as well. We encouraged chapters to adopt schools, a wonderful way to get members, to get involved with the students, and be a support to them. We also ask our members recognized as members when they presented at non-Delta Kappa Gamma events. We wanted the community to recognize that this was a quality person from a quality organization, and that might attract them to want to become a member with us. with the purposes, one of the things that we felt a need for was to have families, because we all worked very hard, but we didn't have much time to just get together. So we came up with families, and we had little projects, and we had a lot of fun with it. We were able to carry it through the years. And legislatively, we started working with other organizations like retired teachers and other organizations who were helping deal with anti-educational legislation. We put more and more about legislation in emails to get it to our members. And we had our legislative advocate report at our conventions very often, also at our leadership development meetings. Regarding fiscal responsibility, that was a time when our membership was sliding a bit, which also, of course, meant we didn't have a whole lot of money. And so we did things like cut out one of the newsletters. It was a legislative one, and we found other ways to get that information out, and were able to save a little bit there. Another big thing was that in the past we'd had info fairs, which meant a team of leadership team members went to different areas throughout the state. Lots of overnights, lots of travel, lots of money expended. And so we changed it to Members Mall, which meant that every committee was recognized, had their own little booth to give information at convention. So that way everyone could be involved with everybody. And then we decided we needed to get into the new century and start inviting vendors to come, and that would be a way to help us supplement our puny little funds. We set all the works going, and the next year, we started vendors, which was able, we also did ads, and that produced about $10,000 a year, which helped keep us out of the red. Being president of Delta Kappa Gamma, California, was one of the most rewarding experiences of my life, and I'm most grateful that I was given the opportunity. Thank you.